Bengals getting set for action. And happy holidays and a pleasant good afternoon. Jay Randolph to call the play, and alongside a real pleasure to have Bob Greasy with us to analyze the action today. Bob, the importance of this game can be seen as we take a look at the standings. Down the road, the Super Bowl tournament, and you'll see that the Bengals are in excellent position. They're 5-2. A victory today clinches the playoffs. A couple of wins would probably give them some good home field advantage.
It certainly would. They're in a race for the home field advantage throughout the playoffs, but they have to win their next two ball games.
Seattle, of course, has got to win.
Seattle had a big game last week and lost to the Patriots. They were both 3-3. If they win this ball game and next week, they'll be 5-4 and almost assured of a spot in the playoffs.
The Seattle Seahawks were shut out at home last Sunday in the Kingdome. New England beat them 16-0. Jim Zorn did not have a good day on that occasion. He completed but 15 passes, no touchdown passes, was intercepted on 4 occasions. And Zorn is going to have a good day today here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Bob, the big question in the minds of many of the people here, how about the Bengals after that very tough loss coming back from Monday night? 50 points scored against them. They scored over 30, but I'm wondering, do you think they'll run the ball a little more today?
Well, I think they will. They've got Pete Johnson, and he's going up against the Seattle defense. They are last in the league against the rush. So Pete Johnson will be a big factor in the ball game today. Seattle may try and get the Bengals to pass the ball more because they are so tough against the pass. But let's take a look at the ball game and see what happens.
All right, we're about set to go. There's Mike McCormick, the interim head coach of the Seahawks. He's done an excellent job. Cincinnati will kick off, and it will be Jim Breach. Forrest Gregg, the head man of the Bengals, had his team in the Super Bowl a year ago. Paul Johns, 85, and Eric Lane, 37, are set to receive. This crowd is set and ready, and Breach comes to the football. Hope you'll enjoy it wherever you are. That's Eric Lane. Trouble at the 15. Look out. Stolen away. Lane tried to pick it up. It slipped away from him. And Seattle, fortunately, is going to get the football. Eric Lane was down there. As we look at it again, Bob Greasy, he was in deep trouble right here.
When you're on the road and you're trying to get the momentum going against a team of the caliber of the Cincinnati Bengals, this is not the way to start the ball game off. It could have been a big break against them, but fortunately they got the ball.
Lane was in under the pile. Don't know whether he actually got it or not. First down. A ball at the 10-yard line. That's Largent going in motion. The give going to Sherman Smith. And Smith, the all-time leading rusher, comes out over the 15-yard line. He is the record rusher for the Seahawks. A penalty marker went down. Ken Riley and Ross Browner, 13-79, made the tackle. And we have a penalty right off the bat. Our referee is Bob Frederick. The discussion continuing. And apparently the indication is it will go against the Seahawks. Personal foul. Bob Frederick today being helped by Jerry Berkman, Bill Swanson, John Keck, Bob Beeks, Gary Lane, and Don Hakes. And let's listen to Bob Frederick as he gives us the call here.
Personal foul, number 33 in the offense.
Call goes against Dan Dornick, the 5-year veteran. Isolated on Ross Browner there.
The number 1 draft choice. They have several number 1 draft choices along the line of the defense for the Cincinnati Bengals, making a big play right there, the first one in the ball game.
Handoff going to Dornick, and Dornick is upended as he got across the 10-yard line. We'll set this offense for you. Reggie Williams making the tackle there. Zorn, Smith, and Dornick in the Seahawk backfield. Johns, Largent, and Tice are the receivers. John Yarno at center with Bailey and Pratt at the guards and Essick and August at the tackles. Going to be second down, about 9. The ball at the 11-yard line. Opening moments of play. Temperature in the 50s. Sherman Smith getting outside to the 15-yard line. Ray Griffin, number 44, playing in place of Lewis Breeden at left corner, made the play. Glenn Cameron also there. The defensive line has Edwards and Browner with Whitley. Harris, LeClaire, Cameron, and Williams are the linebackers for Cincinnati. Ray Griffin, as we indicated, playing for the injured Lewis Breeden, with Riley, Hicks, and Kemp in the secondary with him. Third down and 4 at the 16-yard line. Receivers in the game, and they give it to Dornick. And Dornick is hit short of the first down at the 18-yard line. Bobby Kemp, the strong safety, came up and did an excellent job.
That's one thing the defensive secondary of the Bengals is known for, and that is hitting. When you have your weak safety and your strong safety, the top 2 of the 3 guys making the tackles, you know you've got an aggressive secondary. Essing pulls across. The hole was due inside. There wasn't anything there. Dornick bounces outside, slips a little bit, and that always helps make the defensive back look good, but he got stung.
And you can see the field is wet. They got a great deal of the water off of it, but it rained all day here yesterday. The punt by Jeff West. Mike Fuller is downfield. Fair catch at the 36-yard line. So it will be Cincinnati who will put it in play. There's Kemp, who just made that fine stop a moment ago. A 44-yard punt. And we'll see the Bengals offense for the first time this afternoon. Ken Anderson out of Augustana College in Illinois. He's the quarterback with Alexander and Johnson. Curtis, Collinsworth, and Ross, 3 outstanding receivers. Blair Bush at center with Lapham and Montoya, Anthony Munoz, and Mike Wilson. First down from the 36-yard line. Handoff going to Alexander across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Robert Hardy, number 75, made the play. This defensive unit done an excellent job for Seattle. Green and Hardy, Tuiasosopo, and Bryant. Tuiasosopo bothered by some knee problems, playing in his 55th consecutive game, though he hangs tough. Scholes, Jackson, and Butler are the linebackers. Simpson Brown, the talented Kenny Easley, and John Harris in the secondary. Pick up a 4 a moment ago. 2nd and 6 from the 41. Alexander again across the 45 up to the 47-yard line. Alexander, an All-American from LSU, stopped by Tuiasosopo and Robert Hardy. And one of the Seahawks shaken up. Number 74, Manu Tuiasosopo. As we mentioned, he has been bothered by knee problems. He has never missed a game, but he's going to have to go off. Now, they activated Mike White. Joe Nash played a great deal last week, the rookie from Boston College. And it is going to be Mike White, number 70, who's a former Cincinnati Bengal, his 2nd year at Seattle, activated just this week, who will take over for Tuiasosopo at right tackle. It is 3rd down and 1. To midfield. Pete Johnson starts the day with a 4-point rushing average, 484 yards. Kenny Easley, number 45, coming up to make the play. We mentioned Mike White out of Albany State of Georgia in the lineup, replacing Tuiasosopo.
Anthony Munoz blocking down, does a pretty good job on Mike White on the first play of White in the ball game. It's a tough break, though, Jay, for Manu Tuiasosopo. He had a bad knee coming into the ball game, missed most of the game last week. Wanted to get in there and play. In the second play, he was hurt and had to go out.
White is out now, and Joe Nash, the rookie 72, is in there. Anderson wants to go to the air, pumps, dropped the ball, fell on it, and let's see, is it an incomplete pass, or are they going to rule it a fumble? He pumped, the ball slipped away from him.
Incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass is the ruling.
That happens occasionally, Jay, when you have a wet field, which this is, and the ball just slips. He looked downfield and changed his mind in the mid-stroke, but the ball slipped out of his hand. It was definitely an incomplete pass.
Bob, you've played on this field. Right now, Anderson's drop area is at the second base sliding area where they have some seams, and it's a tough spot.
When he walks up to the line of scrimmage, he is looking where he's going to drop back, so he knows what he's getting into.
He throws, and it is complete. Down to the 43-yard line to Alexander. Alexander coming out to the backfield position, going left. Dave Brown had the coverage, the right cornerback. For Alexander, his 9th catch of the season.
This is a high percentage pass. It's a little option to the halfback coming out. He just turns in between the linebackers and is met. He was looking the other way and didn't know the man was coming from behind, but was hit very good by Dave Brown.
3rd down and a long 3 at the 44-yard line of Seattle. No score. First quarter. Anderson, and incomplete. The pass intended for the tight end Ross was a little high. Ross was isolated out there with the linebacker, number 58, Bruce Scholl.
Actually, he had his halfback open inside the tight end, but you work on these things in practice, and so many times the tight end is open, You come in the ball game and you look for that receiver, and he's not. It's the other man who was always covered in practice. So you can't go up to the line of scrimmage with any preconceived notion of who you're going to throw it to. You have to read the coverage and react.
John Harris and Kenny Easley set to receive the punt from Pat McAnally. McAnally averaged over 45 yards a kick last year. He's down quite a bit this year. Fair catch Easley at the 9-yard line. We have 9 minutes and 45 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Seattle Seahawks, the Cincinnati Bengals are scoreless. Today's game is brought to you by Mazda, who invites you to experience the low-priced Mazda B2000 Sundowner. By your Bell Phone Center. It's ingenious. It's genuine Bell. It's at your Bell Phone Center. And by Intellivision, endless entertainment from Mattel Electronics. Riverfront Stadium. Cincinnati Bengals, Seattle Seahawks. 35-yard punt a moment ago. Seattle, second offensive try this afternoon from their own 9-yard line. Largent in motion to the near sideline. Whipped out it goes to Dornick. Dornick up the sideline, bumped out of bounds as he got across the 15-yard line. Rick Razzano, the third-year man from Virginia Tech, made the play on the far sideline against Dornick. Dornick catching his 16th pass of the season.
Catches a lot of pass coming out of the backfield, Jay. This was a good play. It was a safe play. You're backed up near your own end zone. Gives it an opportunity, a little quick screen. Gives an opportunity to gain some big yards. Low percentage interception type of pass.
Pickup of 8, second down and 2 from the 17-yard line. Seattle ranks 13th in rushing, 5th in passing in the AFC. Zorn at the controls. Largent again in motion. Handoff going to Sherman Smith. Smith is short of the first down. It's going to be close enough that they may measure it, though. Now, putting the ball close to the 20-yard line, he may have the first down. He does. Bo Harris, number 53, and Glenn Cameron, number 50, on the stop. Pittsburgh has an early lead against New England. That game going on up the river at Three Rivers. Anderson with a 21-yard field goal. Out it comes to Dornick. Dornick is out of bounds. The same play they ran a moment ago. That pass out into the flat. Bo Harris, 53, the linebacker, making the play.
Same play, different formation. This time there was double tight ends. He was actually looking downfield. He wanted to throw the ball downfield. Nothing was open. Ran out of time and just dumped it off and got a few yards out of what it could have been a loss if he would have been sacked.
Dornick now has gone out of the game. Carr, 87. Into a wide receiver spot. Largent comes to the near side. Just Sherman Smith behind Jim Zorn. Second down and 5. Largent again going in motion. The pitch comes to Sherman Smith. And Smith
same side. Makes good yardage. First down play, they've been mixing it up real well. Passing on first, running on first. It's what you have to do against the veteran defense of the Cincinnati Bengals.
And Seattle, battling out of a hole, started this drive at their own 9-yard line. Zorn throwing, complete. That's Roger Carr, the 9-year veteran from Louisiana Tech. Zorn thanking Robert Pratt for the protection there. Ken Riley on the play with the coverage, number 13.
Zorn's a very smart quarterback. They run this same play and have the wide receiver breaking in. This time he's breaking out. Gives it problems for the defensive back knowing which way he's going to go when they use that play action.
8 minutes to play in the first quarter. Scoreless game. Coming in motion back toward the play, and there was some movement in the line. Let's see how they call it.
False start, 64 on the offense.
The call goes against Ron Essig, number 64. He made the initial move, teased him a little bit, Bob.
He teased him and got a headache from Ross Browner. He slapped him right in the head.
Mike Tice comes out of the game. The Seahawks calling the plays from the sidelines. Lowry's 40-yard field goal gives San Francisco an early lead against Kansas City. First and 15. And they do it again. Now let's see whose fault it was again. Was it Essig again? I think so. I think the call may go against them.
False start, number 64 offense.
Ron's a little hyped up at the moment.
Good example of how any one player on the ball club can hurt the offense or defense, and in this case obviously the offense. They've cost them 10 yards, and now it's 1st and 20 where they had a good drive going and they had some time of possession on their side.
Mike McCormick and his staff talking it over. Tice comes back in. Sawyer goes out. And it's going to be first down, 20 from the 33. Hood on there. The handoff going to Sherman Smith. Smith to the 35, got to the 36-yard line. Rick Rosano, number 51, the linebacker. He makes the play. Beginning to rain a little bit here. We had very heavy rains yesterday. The field is in good shape, but it is damp from the rains yesterday. They used the machines to remove a good deal of the water early this morning. Second down and 17. 7.5 to play. First quarter, no score. Zorn over the middle, and it is complete out to the 42-yard line. Very close to a first down. The pass caught by the tight end, number 88, Pete Metzelaars, the rookie from Wabash. Bobby Kemp, the strong safety, made the tackle.
The field is wet, as you said, Jay, and the ball is going to have to be thrown right on the mark. Normally on a dry field, he would have been able to plant his foot and cut back to the inside. He had a good opportunity there to make a catch, and not much opportunity to make a good run.
Just short. Third down and 11, let's call it. And down goes Zorn. Eddie Edwards coming off, number 73, the 6th-year man from Miami. They make a big play on Zorn, and it's punting time for Jeff West.
This sack occurred because of the defensive secondary had everybody covered. A little bit of indecision on Zorn's part as to whether or not they were going to blitz him or drop off. They fooled him, and he took a little bit too much time.
Fair catch called for by Mike Fuller. He's got it at the 38-yard line, and Cincinnati will be in excellent position as they will get the ball for the second time offensively. Penalty marker down on the play. 29-yard punt. And the indication is that the infraction will go against Seattle.
Ineligible member of the kicking team, number 59, downfield, too soon. The penalty will be refused.
that's the most popular penalty in the game next to holding, I think. It's hard to understand why. Time and time again, too many men come downfield. A scoreless game here in Cincinnati. Back with more in a moment. Raining here at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium. 6:22 to go in the first quarter. No score. Bengals 12th in rushing, 2nd in passing in the AFC. Start from their own 39. Over the middle, and it is complete to the tight end, Dan Ross. Then he loses the ball, and Seattle comes up with it. Number 55, Michael Jackson, took it away. They had the tight end in the seam down the middle. He made the catch and then lost it. So they turn the ball right back over. When we come back, the Seahawks will have it.
NFL 82 studios in New York in Three Rivers Stadium. The Steelers, who have been terrible in recent weeks, trying to get it going here. Bradshaw hits Franco Harris for 19 yards. The Steelers are on the move. However, it's 0-0 or 3-0 in favor of the Steelers in the first. Jay?
We were isolated on the tight end, Dan Ross. The pass goes to him, Bob Greasy, but
it's double coverage on the 2 wide receivers. Bruce Schultz, number 58, is supposed to cover him all over the field. Kenny Easley knocks the ball out. Michael Jackson recovers it. It's a play-action pass, Jay, and it was very difficult to get the ball in there. He did. It was a great throw, but you're really hanging up your tight end for the defensive back. A hard-hitting defensive secondary knocks the ball loose.
Turnover gives the ball to Seattle from their own 38. Zorn throwing for Sherman Smith. Intercepted. Coming back with it. Ken Riley, the 56th interception in his career. And a penalty marker also down on this play. Zorn indicates that he thinks his club will still have possession. There is Ken Riley. What a performer out of Florida A&M. Yep, the call going to go against Cincinnati. The pass was intended for Sherman Smith, number 47. As you look at Forrest Gregg, he's upset. And referee Bob Frederick stepping off the penalty. We'll listen to him as he puts it down at the 47.
Roughing the passer, number 75 in the defense. First down.
Roughing the passer, charge to the nose tackle, Wilson Whitley, number 75. First down, Seattle at the 47 of Cincinnati.
A big play by Ken Riley, a very smart play. That was not his man. His man was Paul Johns, who was running deep. He's had vision on the quarterback, saw the ball coming, and came off and made the interception.
And he overthrows his intended receiver, Steve Largent. Largent was well covered by Ray Griffin. And the pass overthrown and maybe on purpose.
He was well covered. That's the first pass that they've thrown in Griffin's area today. I expect to see some more. They're not doing anything special to Steve Largent so far in this ball game. As we said last week, the Patriots double covered him, took him out of the offense. He only caught 3 passes, and Seattle had problems and forced Jim Zorn to go to some of the other receivers.
Lewis Breton out of the game with a groin injury. That occurred, of course, Monday night in the loss at San Diego. 2nd and 10. Give to Sherman Smith on the delay, and he goes nowhere. Reggie Williams, the linebacker, number 57, the big guy from Dartmouth, did an excellent job. Let's get an update now as we go to NFL 82 in New York.
Stadium, the Steelers have jumped out to a 10-point lead. Here, Frank Pollard bangs in from 2 yards out. Steelers on top this game in the first quarter. Remember, both these teams are 4-3. Jay?
All right, here it's scoreless. Cincinnati and Seattle. The Bengals, 3rd and 12 in a prevent defense. Jim Zorn looking at it. 3 wide receivers in there for Seattle. Zorn throws complete. First down at the 33-yard line. Oh, a super throw to Roger Carr. Carr made the catch in front of Robert Jackson, number 37. Bo Harris, 53, the linebacker, was over there.
Jim Zorn, you get a look at it from his angle. The linebackers are dropping straight back into his zone. Zorn has good protection, drills the ball in between the two linebackers. Good catch by Roger Carr and good concentration on the ball. Holds on to it on his way down.
Carr is a more disciplined receiver now than he was at Baltimore. He seems to be getting the feel of the Seattle offense. Zorn is 5 out of 6 for 45 yards. First down. Going long for Largent, and he was out of bounds. Bobby Kemp had the coverage. Zorn and Largent hook up on a beautiful catch and throw, but he was not in bounds.
Jim Zorn had to throw that ball before he wanted to. He had to throw it into the end zone. He threw that ball, released it when Largent was on about the 15-yard line, and he had to throw it past Bobby Kemp into the end zone, and it was a tough ball to complete, but he threw it the only place he could, and that was high and outside. You'll see Kemp coming in, had to throw it away from Kemp and over the top, almost had a touchdown.
Second down and 10. Sherman Smith to the 30. Smith started today with a 3.2 rushing average, 162 yards. Rick Rosano, number 51, the linebacker, making the tackle. Ray Wershing has kicked a 32-yard field goal, and Kansas City and San Francisco are now tied up at 3-3. And as you heard moments ago in our report from New York, Frank Pollard has scored to give Pittsburgh an early 10-0 advantage. Robert Jackson back in for the Bengals. They're in their prevent defense. 3rd and 7 at the 30-yard line. Zorn rolling right, throwing, and intercepted by Riley. Riley up the sidelines, out of bounds. Well, there is his 56th career interception. Riley, the all-time American Football Conference leader in interceptions. The Bengals get the ball back, and we'll be back with you right after these messages. Riley is remarkable, Bob Greasy.
They're not going to take that interception away from him, Jay. He's covering Steve Largent, the best receiver, covered by the best defensive back for the Bengals. Zorn throws this ball a little bit behind Steve Largent. Good vision by Ken Riley. He saw it coming all the way and makes a good return.
First down, Bengals from their own 37-yard line. Pete Johnson across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Michael Jackson, the middle linebacker, number 55, on the tackle. Johnson, the power back, the all-time Cincinnati rusher. 4,518 yards starting today. Steve Kreider coming into the game, along with David Mercer, as the Bengals are going to go with an extra wide receiver. They've put Dan Ross out. They actually got 4 in there: Collinsworth, Curtis, Mercer, and Kreider. 2nd and 5. Anderson throwing, and it is complete. Isaac Curtis has a first down at the 41-yard line. Ken Easley on the coverage over there. You see Easley in the middle of the pack. But a fine throw as Anderson put it on consignment to Curtis.
They were mismatched that time. Cincinnati had 4 wide receivers. Here you see a linebacker, Keith Butler, trying to keep up with Isaac Curtis. You can't do that. Seattle has not gone to their nickel defense in the last couple of weeks, and Cincinnati may test them in that area by putting in 4 wide receivers. That time they did it on 2nd down.
Bob, they haven't used the nickel that much. We'll get some more thoughts from you on that in a moment. 1st and 10 at the 40. Pete Johnson. Johnson gets to the 35-yard line, stopped by Tui Asasopo. Let's go to New York for an update.
Thank you, Jay Randolph. In Houston, in the Dome, the Oilers have gone on top of the Browns 7-0. Gifford Nielsen replacing the injured Archie Manning finds Mike Renfro in the end zone for 8 yards, and the Oilers on top of Cleveland in the first quarter. Jay?
Well, it's been a tough year for the Oilers, but they're out in front today against Cleveland. Here it's no score, 2nd and 5 at the 35 for the Bengals. Handoff goes to Charlie Alexander, and he doesn't get much. 29 wrapped him up. Ball spotted at about the 32-yard line. We have 1 minute and 55 seconds remaining. It's a scoreless first quarter. M.L. Harris, number 83, coming into the game along with Rodney Holman, 82. The wide receivers are coming out. On the short yardage situation, they're going to go with Ross and Harris and Holman in there, 3 tight ends. Alexander and Johnson in the backfield, 3rd and 1. Going to pass off this formation. Out it comes, and that is Rodney Holman, the rookie, for a first down. A very interesting call, as Holman came up with only his 3rd catch of the year off a triple tight end alignment.
Well, as I'm sure Seattle is aware, on short yardage and goal line situations, Holman has caught 3 passes, this being his 3rd, and one of them was for a touchdown. When he comes in the ball game, they're like bringing him with a red flag. They know he may get the ball on a pass, but he was open that time.
M.L. Harris, another tight end, has caught only 8, but he has 3 touchdowns. Ross, the big man, with 36. 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Johnson all the way down to the 15-yard line. John Harris on the tackle. They yell, Pete, Pete. He played at Ohio State. 16 touchdowns last season, a team record. Big Pete Johnson, 250 pounds, 6 feet tall.
It's nice to have a big fullback in your backfield that you can pound the middle of the defensive line and kind of wear them down. You know, the offensive line likes to mix it up and run block sometimes. Cincinnati's been doing a lot of pass blocking this year, and they enjoy run blocking.
Time runs out at the end of the first quarter. A scoreless game at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. The Bengals, though, are knocking on the door.
The test pilot who broke the sound barrier, General Chuck Yeager.
Like most of the jets that I fly, today's cars are loaded with electrical systems. That's why in my car I use the advanced technology of AC Delco. This Delco Freedom 2 battery.
With Bob Greasy, Jay Randolph, Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati, first quarter stats. Not a lot to choose from there. The Bengals, 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Number 53. Bob, a moment ago you talked about the job Pete Johnson had been doing and how important it was to have the big fullback. Now Alexander gets some important yardage. Of course, you played with 2 of the best, Zonka and Kick.
And it was very nice to have those guys in reserve. Whenever you wanted to run the ball, Zonka was always there. Of course, we had a great offensive line, and they loved to run block. We threw the ball some, but that was a good run-blocking offensive line.
Helps the quarterback to soften him up. 2nd down and 2 at the 7. And it is Alexander again inside the 5-yard line. 1st down. Appears he has the 1st down by about a foot. Kenny Easley, the safety man, number 45, made the tackle. They may want to measure. They're going to bring the chains in. There is 52-year-old Chicago native Mike McCormick. Looking out at the scene. A scoreless first period. McCormick joined the Seahawks organization last March as their director of football operations. Took over for the deposed Jack Patera and has given a lot of spirit to this club. 1st down at the 5. Forrest Gregg, his 3rd year here. Big crowd here on the riverfront in Cincinnati on this Sunday. Ken Anderson, player of the year, MVP last season. 62.6% of his passes completed. The top running quarterback in professional football. Alexander got just about to the 1 before he was pulled back. John Harris, number 44, stopped him. Alexander, who played at LSU, getting to the 1. I'm reminded it'll be LSU and Nebraska in the Orange Bowl here on NBC.
Cincinnati Bengals trying to pound at that defensive line of the Seahawks. They're not very tough against the run. What they're doing is spreading out into a pass formation and running inside at them. They got about a yard to go for a touchdown.
And they got all three of the tight ends in there again, Ross, Harris, and Holman. And off to Johnson, touchdown! Pete Johnson's 5th touchdown of the season.
Good blocking on the right side behind Mike Wilson and Max Montoya. All Pete Johnson needs is a little bit of a crack, and he can run over most people in this league. First touchdown of the ball game. Jackson getting there too late.
The point after with Jim Breach set to kick it. Breach out of California. Mike Fuller will hold. It is up, and it is good. 13:09 to play in the first half. Bengals are on the board. Cincinnati. The Bengals in 10 plays go 63 yards to score. Breach ready to kick it off. Paul Johns and Eric Lane set to receive the kickoff. Paul Johns from the 7. At the 20. Gets to the 24-yard line. Oliver Davis, the safety man, number 21, and number 37, Robert Jackson, along with Guy Frazier, were there to make the play. 17-yard return, and Seattle down 7-0. Will operate from their own 24-yard line.
Jay, I think the Seahawks are ready to go now. We are told that they haven't scored a touchdown in the first quarter all season, so they're warmed up and ready to go and see what they can do.
They've had only 2 field goals in the first period, 2 over the 7 games. They have been slow starters.
I'd say so.
This is Dornick. He got a couple. Reggie Williams, number 57, the right outside linebacker, making the play. Mike McCormick, an all-conference performer at the University of Kansas, and originally a number 1 draft choice of the New York Yanks, the old Yanks, back in '51. Head coaching, of course, at Philadelphia and Baltimore, was an assistant here in Cincinnati. Both these coaches influenced, I'm sure, a great deal by Paul Brown.
A lot of coaches around this league were influenced by Paul Brown and Vince Lombardi. It seems like everything that goes on comes from those 2 men.
On 2nd and 7, it's complete, now dropped, or do they call it a catch? It is going to be called a catch. The official right on the play said he had possession. Rosano made the hit as Mike Tice, the tight end, took the ball at the 35-yard line. We'll look at it again.
It didn't look to me as though, Jay, it was a catch, but it's hard to see from that angle, but the referee, as the official, is right there and had a good view of it.
It was not Tice, but it was Metzelars, number 88. There is Paul Brown on the left, member of the Football Hall of Fame, remarkable coaching career. 3rd down and 3 at the 31-yard line, and action at the line of scrimmage. The nose tackle, Wilson Whitley, there he is, number 75, the big guy from Houston. Number 1 draft choice. He moved, but was he drawn off? Well, it doesn't look like it. 5-yard penalty.
Head coach, number 75 on the defense.
A lot of times the defensive nose tackle was the easiest guy to pull off sides. He was the closest to the quarterback, and his deflection, the nose tackle could hear it better than anybody else. And sometimes if you raised your voice and yelled a little bit louder than normal, you could get him to come off. The centers didn't like it, but the quarterbacks did.
You quarterbacks play those dirty tricks. Down the side, and it is fumbled. Metzelars again lost the ball, and the Seahawks retained possession. Coming over to pick it up was Dan Dornick. The throw to Metzelars, he was hit hard by Bob Kemp, the strong safety, lost it, but Dornick saved it for Seattle.
Little play action. This is a fine throw as far as execution by Jim Zorn, but he's not going to make very many friends with his tight ends by hanging the ball up there that long. Gets a tough hit by Bobby Kemp. The ball comes out. Both of these quarterbacks now have laid the ball up for their tight ends, and they're going to have some headaches in this ball game.
First down at the 47-yard line for Seattle. Cincinnati leads 7-0. 10 minutes, 40 seconds to go, first half. Byron Walker, the rookie, go in motion outside. The handoff to Dornick. Dornick slashes through at the 50. Stopped by Glenn Cameron, number 50. Let's go to New York for this update.
Thank you, Jay Randolph. In Pittsburgh's Three River Stadium, it looks like the Steelers have regained their winning touch. Here, Terry Bradshaw finds John Stallworth in the end zone, and the Steelers have upped their lead over the Patriots to 17-0 in the second quarter. Jay?
7-0 here. The Steelers doing a job up the way. Coming out of the game there, Glenn Cameron. Cameron, the linebacker. Dinkle, number 52, has replaced him. The Bengals hurting a little bit at the linebacker spots. Here is the throw, double coverage against Steve Largent. Bobby Kemp and Ken Riley, 26 and 13, were back there. Bob Razzano is playing for Cameron, and LeClaire is not in there. Dinkle is in there now, so they've got a little problem with the linebacking situation, do the Bengals.
They had a lot of linebackers in there that time that are different than the starting ones. Hank Bull, the defensive coordinator from the Bengals, was a very aggressive one, and he had them all coming that time. They had a little blitz on. Zorn read it, tried to throw the ball downfield to Steve Largent. Riley again, his man coverage. Riley saw what was going on and went over and tried to help out, and almost got another interception.
Zorn may have called an audible here. As he looks over, he sees Oliver Davis and Robert Jackson in there to prevent defense for the Bengals. 3rd and 7 for Seattle. Sherman Smith cannot hold on. Excellent coverage by Oliver Davis, who was picked up from Cleveland on waivers. The 6-year man who came in, number 21, right there. He did an excellent job.
Sure did. He had man-to-man coverage. Again, the Bengals were up there, gave him the same look like they were going to blitz this time. This time they pulled out, double covered the outside men. The wide receivers were double covered. The halfbacks were man-to-man, and that's where he went to, but it was good coverage.
Third punt of the afternoon for Jeff West. Mike Fuller is downfield. Fuller at the 17, steps up at the 20, gets to the 22-yard line. So the Bengals will have it after a 33-yard punt. Cincinnati leads the Seahawks 7-0. Gracie J. Randolph. Cincinnati has the lead 7-0. Seattle has had the ball, the opportunities today, but has yet to make anything happen on that scoreboard.
They're having it a little bit more than they had last week. Last week they only had 18 minutes offensively, and that's not very much time to get anything done. Today they've got the ball a little bit more, but they need to get something accomplished.
The Bengals start from their own 23 after the punt. Pitch back to Alexander. Finds the hole at the 30. Out to the 34-yard line. Alexander, that's his longest run of the year, 12 yards from scrimmage. John Harris, number 44, on the tackle.
I think what you're seeing here, Jay, is a lot of running on the part of the Cincinnati Bengals. Last Monday night against San Diego, they were throwing the ball a lot. Today, they're running.
Here's Glenn Cameron, who was shaken up, came out of the game. They're attending to him. We'll try to get a report on just what the injury is. First down at the 34. Penalty markers are down. And Anderson has a free toss out to Johnson. Johnson bumped out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Michael Jackson, the linebacker, over there making the play. Quarterback like to have that situation where he's almost sure that the opposing team is offside or the penalty is on them.
Oh, yeah, and you like to know that, too.
Yeah.
If you can pull them off with your cadence and know it ahead of time, you get a free shot downfield. You can do
defense. Number 79 was offside, and the penalty will be refused.
It was Jacob Green who was offside. Ken Anderson looking to the bench.
The problem is, Jay, you got to make sure that you know who's offside because you can make a big mistake. Look looking downfield. He's not sure of who was offside, so he dumps it out to Johnson, who is a very good receiver for the Bengals, along with being a great runner.
Johnson had caught 24 for 202 yards coming into today's game. Pete gets the call and gets a couple. He has the first down at the 45-yard line. Nash, as you see, is back into the game. Tui Asasopo bothered by the knee problem. Mike White was in there earlier. He was activated this week. First down. We have 8:25 to go in the first half. The Bengals got a touchdown from Johnson from 1 yard out at 13:09 of the second period. Anderson with time. Out to Johnson. Blocker in front of him. Penalty marker goes down. Johnson got it to midfield, but we might have a clip. Robert Hardy is shaken up for the Seahawks. Clipping. I think it was Blair Bush, the center. Bush, incidentally, is from Seattle, Washington, went to school at the University of Washington. Our congratulations to the Huskies in that come-from-behind victory in the Haloa Bowl last night.
It's a little option screen. Johnson going out. Maybe we'll see the clip here. 75, Robert Hardy is coming out. Johnson getting the ball. Hardy going to make the tackle. There's a clip right there.
Right there. Ooh.
Oh, you hate to see those things happen.
Indeed you do. We have a timeout with 8 minutes remaining in the first half. The Bengals 7. We'll take a look at the clip a moment ago as Robert Hardy comes across and goes down right there. And Hardy was helped off. Heartburn. 4-year man from Jackson State. There's the man who charged with the clip, Blair Bush. Steve Kreider's in the game now, along with David Bursard, 4 wide receivers. First and 27 from the 28. And it's intercepted. Coming across to make the play, and in fine fashion, John Harris. The pass appeared to be intended for Chris Collinsworth. Harris comes across his 4th interception of the year, and Seattle is going to get it in very good shape.
It's a big play by Harris. Kenny Anderson thinks he's got him open for a second. He doesn't throw many interceptions. Harris gets over there, cuts right inside of him. You know, of the 4 defensive backs in the secondary, 3 of them are first-round draft choices, and Harris, he led the AFC in interceptions last year. They're good ones.
He's there on the right, Ken Anderson on the left. Harris, a 29-yard return for a touchdown with an interception in the game here last season. The Seahawks led here 21-0 when Chuck Schonert came off the bench to spark Cincinnati's come-from-behind victory 27-21. Well, let's see what the Seahawks can do with it after the turnover. First down at the 43-yard line of the Bengals. The 35. Good making that time by Jim Zorn. Glenn Cameron is back in the game at right inside linebacker number 50. He made the play.
Seattle's defense is doing their job. Cincinnati has had the ball 4 times. They've gotten a fumble and interception off the Bengals, putting their offense in good position. Time for the Seattle offense to move it in and get some points.
New nose tackle in the game for the Bengals, number 61, Jerry Boryarski, the second-year man from Pittsburgh. Margin in motion, second down and 2. Dornick again, and very close to the first down. Dornick, a number 7 draft pick of the New York Giants, came to the Seattle club in '79 in the trade. Boyarski and Edwards, 61 and 73, made the tackle. It's just short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and inches. 7-0 Cincinnati. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
You're watching KING-TV, Channel 5, Seattle.
You see Hardy going off. Here is a big play for Seattle. Dornick. He got it with with a tremendous bit of effort. Reggie Williams makes the tackle, number 57. Hardy going in for some precautionary x-rays, as they always do. The National Football League teams all have their own x-ray units right at the stadium for the games during the regular season.
It's a good addition. They added that a few years back, and it's a very good addition.
First down at the 27-yard line. Seattle trying to get back in it. 6 minutes to play in the first half. Zorn throwing downfield and overthrowing Roger Carr. Bobby Kemp was right there with Roger Carr. Bob, that's a tough throw, a timing throw. You know your man is going to go toward the pole, and you know you're going to let it go and hope he can get there.
It's a tough throw. It's not an easy pass to complete, and you may ask, why did they throw it? That time he had to, because they had an all-out blitz. We call a double safety blitz. The Bengals were sending one more man than the Seahawks could block. Zorn knew it and read it, laid it up. He just didn't give it enough air for him to have the opportunity to run underneath it. But he made the right decision, just didn't execute it properly.
Second down and 10. Largent in motion to the near side. The pitch to Sherman Smith. On the run, Sherman cutting the corner. Bumped out of bounds, short of the first down. Penalty marker is down. He got it to the 21-yard line. Mike Fuller, 42. Reggie Williams, 57, making the play for Cincinnati. And the discussion now with referee Bob Frederick and his crew. Personal foul, clipping against Seattle. That's a toughie at this point in the proceedings.
Their offense is stopping themselves. The two illegal motion penalties earlier in the game, and now this one. You just can't have this on offense and execute. It's tough enough against a good defense.
Personal foul, slipping on number 83, offense.
The call. They said 83. Do we have no 83? He may have meant 33.
That was it right there, and I think that was a poor call, because the continuation rule, he had contact with him and the man turned on him.
I think you're right. Second down, 23. Two wide receivers set to the right. Zorn throwing, and a fine catch at the 26-yard line. It was Largent who went high to make the play. Mike Fuller made the tackle immediately. Largent sacrificed himself on that one.
This was an outstanding catch. Good protection. Zorn throws it a little bit high in between the linebackers. Good throw, a little high. Great catch. Great catch by him. Here we see him running down man on man. The corner has outside technique. Largent just getting into the seam. Had him in the Pro Bowl with me a few years back, Jay. A fine receiver. He had that clock in his head. He knew when to get open.
3rd and 8 at the 25. Did an excellent job. He made the hit on Byron Walker, the rookie from the Citadel. The ball was thrown right in Walker's chest, but he could not hold on.
Again, you got a little blitz coming. He's got people falling all around him. He makes an excellent throw. There's nothing more the quarterback can do. Seattle's offense is stopping themselves. A penalty here, a clip there, a drop ball here. You just can't execute and get points if you don't execute any better than they're doing today.
Norm Johnson, the rookie from UCLA, a 33-yarder. That's from the 43 total, and it is good. Johnson kicks a 43-yard field goal. Seattle with 3. The Bengals with 7. Johnson missed one against New England. Comes back with his 43-yarder. His longest of the year is 48. He's kicking off. Rodney Tate and David Verser are set to receive. That's David Verser coming out at the 10. In a little trouble and spun out of bounds right at about the 15-yard line. Over there to make the play for Seattle was Dupek, number 25. He does an excellent job, and we're isolated on this special teams expert.
This is the Suicide Squad, as they used to call them. Then they came up with a glorified name of Special Teams. Whatever you call it, he's doing a great job.
The headhunter, Dufek, made the play. First and 10 from the 15-yard line. There's Dufek. Played at Michigan. Anderson, a lot of time. Now he's in trouble. And running and sliding to the 19-yard line. Now a penalty marker goes down. Anderson, as we mentioned, the top running quarterback in all the NFL, over 1,960 yards starting today, and you see his rushing stats for this season. Not running as much now as he once did. Personal foul against Seattle. Well, apparently after the slide, somebody came in there and spiked him a little bit.
Good coverage in the secondary. Anderson was looking around. Here you see the linebackers dropping straight back. That's a key to the quarterbacks, that there's zone coverage. Nobody was open. The rush got to him. You know, this is a bad play on the part of Manu Tuiasosopo. Late hit. Got several penalties against the Seattle Seahawks. It's stopping them from scoring points and also helping the other team move down the field.
First and 10 from the 34-yard line. Coming up the middle, Alexander. He didn't get much, maybe a yard. Michael Jackson, number 55. Jeff Bryant, number 77, were there. See Easley coming out of the pile, number 45. Number 72, Joe Nash, is now in there at tackle, and the other tackle now is White, number 70, as Tuiasosopo is out of there.
Yeah, correct myself. It was not Manu, but the point is good that they're stopping themselves with stupid penalties.
I think it was Nash in underneath there with White, and on that slide by Anderson, they caught them for unnecessary roughness. Pete Johnson. Johnson close to the first down at the 43-yard line. Keith Simpson, the cornerback, number 42, made the play. We'll go to New York, NFL 82, for an update.
Thank you, Jay Randolph. In the Astrodome in Houston, the Browns, with Paul McDonald at the quarterbacking spot for the second week in a row. Here he finds Dave Logan down the left sideline. Logan goes all the way, 56 yards to score, and the Browns now lead the Oilers 10-7 in the second. Jay?
And the other Ohio team is leading Seattle 7-3. Third down and 1 coming for Cincinnati. They've got the 3 tight ends again in there, Ross, Harris, and Holman. Alexander and Johnson have gone all the way behind Ken Anderson. And the handoff going to Alexander. He appears to have the first down. Jeff Bryant stood him up, number 77. Michael Jackson, number 55, in the middle. And as they unravel him, we'll see if he got the first down.
Get a good end zone view. There's Michael Jackson stuffing the hole. Pete Johnson leading the blocking. Michael Jackson is a very emotional football player. He's gotten into some problems the last few weeks by being a little bit too emotional, and he's been hurting the the defense of the Seattle Seahawks. Good to be aggressive.
Yeah, he is a very aggressive young man. 4 personal fouls in the last couple of weeks. But this has been a much better defensive unit, more intensity. Got 4 wide receivers in there. Anderson throws. It's complete. And on the move, Mercer. Mercer may go all the way. Mercer, touchdown.
Him in a blitz. You see everybody's coming. Number 26 is coming. Everybody's coming. Single coverage in the secondary. David Mercer has not caught many passes in the last couple of years. He's been a bingo. Get him in single coverage, and there aren't many people that are going to catch him from behind.
55 yards. Mercer, the big play man from Kansas. The Extra point try. Jim Breach. Mike Fuller's holding. Kreider used to do the holding, but he has an injured finger. It is up, and it's good. 2 minutes, 13 seconds left to play in the first half. And Cincinnati leads it 14-3. First Greg on the left, Mike McCormick on the right. Greg's Bengals leading at 14-3. Jim Breach set to kick off. Eric Lane and Paul John set to receive. The Bengals striking quickly, this crowd erupting as Mercer took the pass and went for a touchdown, a 55-yard play. Eric Lane is at the 20, the 25, out to the 28. Penalty marker goes down. Penalty marker was thrown at the 25-yard line. Ron Simpkins, number 56 on the tackle, a 20-yard return. Holding against Seattle. So again, a crippling penalty here for Mike McCormick's crew.
You know, one of the trademarks of the man I played with through all my years in the NFL, Don Shula, was the small amount of penalties that they had against them. The least penalized team in the league. Here we're seeing Seattle really hurt themselves on the last touchdown drive. The personal foul really hurt them.
Offensive holding, number 59 during the run back.
Call goes against Rodell Thomas. First and 10 from the 16-yard line. Jim Zorn on first down, in trouble, throws it away. The Bengals want intentional grounding. Good pressure was put on by Reggie Williams.
The referee standing right behind the quarterback is the man who has to make that call. In this case, I think he had a pretty good view of it. I don't see anybody that's going to be around Zorn with a number in the 20s, 30s, or 40s that could have caught that ball. He should have went up and looked around. I think he would have had a good flag there.
2-minute warning being given to both benches. We'll be back with more from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Service by the National Football League. Coming up at halftime, of course, NFL 82. Mike McCormick would like to have a score coming up to get his club back in it. Second down and 10 from the 16. Zorn throws, incomplete. Eddie Edwards was all over him. Williams also there. Edwards 73 and Williams 57. And a good job by the prevent defense of the Bengals. There wasn't much for him to throw to out there, Bob.
The defensive secondary in the zone took away all the receivers, and Zorn was looking around and allowed the rush to finally get to him. Credit that pressure to the defensive secondary and the backs for keeping everybody covered until the rush got there.
Wondering if it wouldn't be a good idea down here to see him roll out here.
I think it would be an excellent idea. He can do it.
Third down and 10. He goes straight back. The blitz is on. He rolls out of there, but goes down at the 7. Reggie Williams and Eddie Edwards again making the play. And now the Bengals may get the football with time in which to get some more points on the board. A minute 45 to go in this first half. The Seahawks have to punt, and a timeout called by the Bengals. That stops the clock with 1:45 left, and a good call. The timeouts remaining, 2 for Cincinnati and 3 for the Seahawks. Well, you know, New Year's is a very traditional day on NBC, a lineup of college football that is tops in every way. At 1:30 Eastern Time, the Fiesta Bowl comes your way. Oklahoma, that means you'll see Marcus Dupree against the #1 ranked defense of Arizona State. And then the granddaddy of them all. More than 100,000 will gather at Pasadena's Rose Bowl, and you'll see Anthony Carter, Michigan, going against UCLA, the Bruins. And then a spectacular evening of action, the Orange Bowl game Nebraska, and the Tigers of LSU, and all the pageantry of that great affair from the Orange Bowl in Miami. That's all New Year's Day on NBC Sports. Bob Greasy, that Orange Bowl game is always something very special, and LSU's an underdog, but Jerry Stovall did a great job with that club, and that should be a real head knocker.
I'd tune in just to watch the halftime show.
That's right. West to punt. Mike Fuller is downfield. West gets the kick away. Fuller at the 44. Fuller steps away. Penalty marker goes down as Fuller got to the 41-yard line. Fuller was hit on the play by the Seahawks.
6 on the clock.
Rodell Thomas, number 59. 35-yard punt. And a penalty is indicated against the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's going to be stepped off by referee Bob Frederick. Back to the 48.
Illegal block. Number 49 on the kick return.
Call goes against Guy Frazier, the reserve linebacker. 1:36 left to go in the first half. 2 timeouts remaining for these Bengals. They lead it 14-3. Archie Griffin, number 45, is in the game. Anderson with time. Throwing complete to the near sideline. Going out of bounds, Steve Kreider to stop the clock. Kerry Justin, number 26, had the coverage. Kreider, besides playing some fine football, does some writing in the newspapers here. He and one of the columnists had a point-counterpoint feature this morning about whether the playoff system that we're using in this strike-shortened year is any good. I don't see that it makes any difference, because that's what we're going to do.
I don't see how they can come up with anything better.
I don't either. Johnson and Alexander out of the game, as we indicated. Just Archie Griffin behind his quarterback. 2nd down and 3. And the throw is short of Kreider. And maybe wisely so, because Kerry Justin, the extra defensive back, was coming up quick. Had that ball been on the letters, he might have been able to pick it away.
The strength of Seattle, as we've said, is their pass coverage, their pass defense. The lone touchdown that the Bengals got through the air was on a blitz to David Bersher. They haven't thrown the ball downfield many times. It's been a lot of times dumping it off to Pete Johnson. Archie Griffin is in there now. He's an excellent receiver coming out of the backfield.
3 wide receivers set to the left. 3rd and 3. Over the middle, there he is. Collinsworth has a first down at the 30-yard line. He was wide open. John Harris made the tackle. Bob Greasy, they put all 3 of them left and let them go out there and flooded it.
The thing I'm impressed with is the way the Seattle defenders are jamming the receivers.
Here's a throw to the other side, complete to Isaac Curtis. A first down at the 18-yard line. Kenny Easley had the coverage. He made the tackle. 57 seconds left to go in this first half.
They didn't jam Isaac Curtis enough. Here you saw him getting by the front man. Double zone coverage. Easley has to come over and cover him deep and short. Kenny Anderson has done this a few times. 2-minute drill, moving the ball club down. This is a big series here.
They take a timeout with 57 seconds remaining. They have 1 timeout left. Isaac Curtis, and I'll just say a word about him. Played at San Diego State. Now in his 10th year, he's the Bengals' all-time receiver. 357 catches coming into today's game for more than 6,000 yards. Want to remind you about next weekend on NBC. It's the final weekend of the regular season. The figures are astronomical on who might get in and who might not. But NFL 82 will kick off all the action at 12:30 Eastern. At 1 o'clock, you'll see the Jets battle Kansas City. The Bengals take on the Oilers. The Bills face New England. Bob, you and I will be up at Foxborough for that one. The Cleveland Browns meet the Steelers. At 2, some of you will see Miami and Baltimore. And at 4, the Raiders square off with the high-powered offensive Chargers. The Broncos match up with the Seahawks. That's all next Sunday on NBC Sports, the home of the Super Bowl. Don't forget to check your local listings for the action in your area. 1st and 10, Cincinnati. Bengals leading 14-0. to 3. They have it at the Seahawk 15-yard line. Out it comes to Archie Griffin. Griffin is down to the 3-yard line. Keith Simpson made the tackle. You mentioned earlier, Griffin is a good receiver. That time, the deep stuff was covered, and he pitched it to him, and they got good yardage. Clock running, 34 seconds. Out again it comes to Griffin, and he is hit at the 5-yard line. A fierce tackle there by Kenny Easley. Easley coming up along with Simpson to make the play. Timeout with 23 seconds left.
Same type of play, both plays that you just saw. Anderson looking into the end zone. Zone coverage on the part of the Seattle Seahawks. Nothing out there. He swung the ball out to Archie Griffin. The first time he wasn't covered so well. The next time they said, do it once, but don't do it twice. And they come up and hit him good hard lick.
Oh, that Easley, he sticks his nose in there, doesn't he?
He does. He's a good defensive back. Was a quarterback in high school. I got to get that in.
All right, you're the quarterback. You're now out of timeouts. 23 seconds left as we look again to that first pass out to Griffin when everybody was shut down downfield. You see his ability. Two-time Heisman Trophy winner. All right, Bob Griese, you're the quarterback. You're at the 5-yard line. You lead at 14-3. You have 23 seconds left. You're out of timeouts.
The key thing is you have no timeouts. You can run. You cannot run the ball, but you can run off 2 or 3 passes if they're incomplete. If you complete a pass and it's not in the end zone, you have a problem. So very simply, the bottom line is you got to pass and you've got to throw it in the end zone or make it incomplete.
I look at this record of Anderson's, Bob, and I think you can appreciate it as much as anyone. 169 career touchdowns coming into today's game and 131 interceptions.
He throws it to the guy that's wearing the same colored jersey as he does.
That's right. Here we go. 2nd and 5. Out of time. Back he comes, and it is intercepted by Easley. Oh, what a great play he made. Well, Anderson wanted to force it in there. He didn't have anything. For 1 second, I thought he might try to run through the left side, but a big interception here for Easley.
It's good coverage on the part of the Seahawks. They're double covering the outside guys. Kenny starts to scramble, comes back, and doesn't see everybody, doesn't see Easley. What an athlete he is. A great athlete, started 4 years at UCLA. Makes a great interception and a big play for the Seahawks to keep him in this ball game.
That's the 3rd interception of the season for Kenny Easley. Anderson now is 13 out of 18, 167 yards, and a couple of interceptions. Well, the Bengals miss a golden opportunity here in the final seconds of this first half as Easley comes up with a big play. Dornick getting the ball and being ridden out over there. Ross Browner, number 79, leading the way. And the end of the first half. The Bengals lead it 13-3, but I think, Bob, very quickly the Seahawks have got to be pleased that they're not in worse trouble than they are.
They do, and they could be so much better off if they weren't having all these penalties on offense. The one roughing the quarterback pass, the one roughing the quarterback when Anderson was running, was on the same drive. They had 85 yards and a touchdown.
All right, we'll continue with NFL 82. We'll be back with more.
Throw many interceptions, especially down in that area of the field. He always comes out with at least 3, and that may have been what kept Seattle in this ball game.
Here we got to look at it again. It was indeed a play that shows you the great athletic ability that Easley has.
Anderson wanted to throw the ball to his left, came back and did not see every player on the opposing team, saw his receiver, and easily reading the quarterback's eyes, had enough athletic ability to come back and pick the ball off and make the catch.
Here's what Easley had to say today.
To stop the Bengals today, the Seahawks will have to limit the amount of effectiveness of Ken Anderson's drop-back pass, 5-step passing attack to Kreider, their great receiver Chris Collinsworth, and the tight end Ross. Make him pass the ball on a 7-step drop and to scramble a little bit more, and not allow him to come back and set up in 5 steps and pass the ball on rhythm.
We'll be back with more from Riverfront Stadium right after these messages and also a word. The first scoring play of the game at 13:09 of the second period. Johnson from 1 yard out. Did a good job, Bob.
Ran over a couple people. It's tough to stop somebody that big.
And the other score came on a 55-yard connection. Anderson to Verser.
Anderson saw the blitz coming. Verser was at the outlet, just standing there on the sideline. He got the ball and made a long run out of it.
Getting set to start the second half. The Seahawks, Norm Johnson to kick off. Tate 23 and Verser 81 set to receive. 14-3 the Bengals as we go to the third quarter of action. That's Verser at the 4. He is dumped, and a penalty marker goes down as Verser went across the 15-yard line. Bruce Scholes, the linebacker, number 58, making the play. See Scholes right there in the middle of your picture. And we'll see what this penalty is. Referee Bob Frederick indicates a push in the back against Cincinnati, and that will back them up. Word just passed along to us that Steve Grogan, the quarterback of New England, has a mild concussion. He will not play in the second half at Pittsburgh.
Illegal block, number 86 on the kick return.
The call going against Steve Kreider. Anderson with Alexander and Johnson in the backfield. Curtis, Collinsworth, and Ross. And up front, Munoz, Lapham, Bush, Montoya, and Wilson. First down from the 7. Pete Johnson. Johnson gets out to about the 8 or 9. There's the defensive arrangement. Green, Hardy, Tuiasosopo, and Bryant. Tuiasosopo is being spelled now by Nash. Butler made that last tackle, and along with Scholes and Jackson, they're the linebackers. Simpson, Brown, Easley, and Harris in the secondary. And one of the Bengals shaken up now. Bengals trainer Marvin Polans, his assistant Bill Conley, Dr. Ballou, staff out there, McAnally, a Harvard grad, along with Coach Forrest Gregg. With a timeout, the Bengals lead it 14-3. Back with more in a moment. Today's game is brought to you by the new Chrysler Corporation, quality engineered to be the best. By ColecoVision, the arcade quality home video game system. And by the investment firm of Smith Barney. They make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it. Ready to go. Glenn Bujnak. Now at right guard, number 74, replacing Max Montoya, shaken up on the last play. Montoya came off under his own power. On second down and 7, Charlie Alexander slanting to the right side, gets to the 13-yard line. Mike White, number 70, making the play. Anthony Munoz, number 78 at left tackle, an isolated view of his play.
One of the top draft choices that the Bengals have had over the last 3 or 4 years. Good choices that have come in and played. One of the reasons why they've been so successful the last couple of years.
Saw Steve Kreider come into the backfield for the Bengals, or come into the alignment for the Bengals. Kreider, the wide receiver, 86. Archie Griffin is in there now with Pete Johnson. 3rd and 5 from the 13. Anderson in trouble. Down he goes. Down at the 5-yard line. Anderson sacked. Jeff Bryant, 77. Jacob Green, 79, leading the way. Anderson, coming into today's game, the quarterback had been sacked a total of 23 times.
Give credit on that play to Michael Jackson, the middle linebacker. Kenny Anderson was looking for Archie Griffin coming out of the backfield. We said earlier that they do not go to nickel coverages on 3rd down. They feel their linebackers can cover, and that was a good example.
McAnally to punt from his own end zone. A good rush. Easily almost blocked it. Downfield, Johns at the 45, goes down as he crossed the 45-yard line. So Seattle is going to have very excellent position. A penalty marker now down, a 41-yard punt. Jeff shoe, number 59, was there to make the play, and referee Bob Frederick and his crew talking things over. Another push in the back, this time against Seattle. A lot of penalties have hurt this Seattle club.
You know, and you wonder why. Why Seattle? Why is this happening to them? They're not a lot of it has to do with the youth.
Illegal block, number 22 on the kick return team.
Call against Dave Brown of the Seahawks.
A lot of times young players who are not that disciplined will do things just to try to impress, to do something. They're not on the field. The special team players get an opportunity to be on the field. They want to do something, but they have to be disciplined to do it within the rules.
First and 10 from their own 43. Zorn throwing, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by Ken Riley. Oh, wait a minute. It was not Riley. I can't tell who it was. He's down there and all of that. But it was not Riley. We'll look at it again, and maybe we can pick up who took it. Somebody took it out of the air and then ran right into all the team down there.
It's a play-action pass. This
I think
looks
it was
like
Fuller.
Like something they had specially designed for the defense. Something that they may have seen. Fuller gets over, playing in place of John Harris.
Mike Fuller, and it's his 17th career interception. Zorn threw 4 interceptions last week against New England. Has had a couple here today. First and 10 at the 34-yard line. The Bengals with it. Third quarter, 12:53 to play. Pitch back comes to Alexander. Alexander gets near the 40-yard line. Alexander, a #1 draft choice. The stop made by Keith Butler, number 53. Montoya has come back into the game for the Bengals at right guard, number 65. You'll remember he was shaken up a little while ago. It's going to be second down and a long 3 at the 41-yard line. Collinsworth comes to the near sideline along with Isaac Curtis. The give to the big guy, Pete Johnson, and he is close to a first down at the 44. Mike White, number 70, made the play. The Seahawks, with Hardy and Tuiasosopo both hurting, playing backup men at the defensive tackles.
They were very susceptible to the run, against the run, before coming into the ball game. Losing your 2 defensive tackles doesn't help that situation one bit. Cincinnati Bengals are taking advantage of it by running straight ahead.
The 3 tight ends are in there now. Alexander and Johnson in the backfield. 3rd and a yard. And it is Alexander. And it's going to be close. Probably get a measurement. Jacob Green was there, number 79. Also getting up, number 55, Michael Jackson. I don't know. It doesn't look like he got enough. It'll be very close, and the fans here are already starting to do a little quarterbacking of their own. They're saying go, go, go if he didn't.
They're saying go, or they holler for Pete if they for fourth down already.
Now let's see. Now they're short. It's by about a foot. And McAnally will come in to punt.
That's a good choice, Jay. They've got a good defense. They've been playing well all day. Punt the ball down, play defense, and then get good field position back.
A good choice, but not a popular choice.
Not a popular one, but you don't need to create any momentum for the Seahawks if they would have stopped them on that fourth down play, give them good field position.
McAnally, who played collegiately at Harvard, gets the kick away. Paul Johns returning it to the 29-yard line. Timeout. The Bengals 14, The Seahawks 3. Back with more in a moment. 35-yard punt by McAnally a moment ago. Not punting up to a year ago, and he had a very fine 45-yard average. There's Breeden, the big play cornerback, sitting it out with a pulled groin, injured Monday night. 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. Dornick got a first down, bumped out of bounds as he neared the 40-yard line. Mike Fuller, the safety man, coming over to make the play. Kansas City and San Francisco are 10-6. 12:04 left to play in the third quarter. The Chiefs playing better of late. Detroit leading Tampa Bay 21-13. They have 3:25 left in the third period.
They've gotten a lot stronger since the strike, has Detroit.
A very talented group. Monty Clark, and who used to work for your old team, Miami. Riley makes the tackle as the pass went to Mike Tice, the tight end, short of a first down at the 45-yard line. Tice out of Maryland. He was a quarterback. They made him a tight end, and he's not a bad one.
It's a little slant out by the tight end. A great play by Ken Riley, who is the cornerback out there. His man comes in, Roger Carr, and he lets him go. He sees the pass coming out, stays there, and makes a tackle. That man has been around for 14 years in the National Football League, and he has done it with his brains and good vision. He sees the ball and knows where it's going all the time.
2nd down and 4. Handoff going to David Hughes, who's in the backfield for the first time. Hughes out of Boise State, the second-year man, averaging 3.6 per carry. Hit by Ross Browner and Reggie Williams, and we take a look at Browner.
This is the pits. Browner throwing him aside his man, Ron Essink. And then he gets the help from a lot of his buddies. This Bengal defense has been much tougher today than it was 6 days ago against the San Diego Chargers.
And, of course, they've been very tough up until that point. They dropped from being one of the leaders all the way out of the top after Monday night. 3rd and 2. Sherman Smith. I don't think he got there.
I don't think he did either.
Cameron and Williams and Harris were all there. Seattle only 3 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. And one of the Bengals is shaken up. Number 73, Eddie Edwards. Horace Gregg calls him an exceptional player. Another number 1 draft choice. Played at Miami and Florida.
Hustles all the time. He says he wishes he had 45 just like Eddie Edwards. He's always hustling, always looking to improve himself.
Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. Temperature in the 50s, a light rain falling. The Bengals and the Seahawks were scoreless after a quarter. The Bengals got 14 in the second period, the Seahawks 3. That's the score. Reminder about college basketball coming your way on NBC Sports. January 15th, Charlottesville, Virginia. Defending national champs, North Carolina, they've had a little trouble. They're going against Ralph Sampson and the Cavaliers. They were beaten out in Hawaii by Chaminade.
They had a little trouble, too.
That should be a good one. North Carolina, Virginia, January the 15th. Jeff West gets the punt away. Fuller lets it go and into the end zone. The old rule prevailed. Don't touch it inside the 10. A 52-yard punt. We have 8:12 left to play in the third quarter. The Bengals lead. Entertaining here. Happy holidays to you and yours from all of us at NBC Sports. Bob Greasy and Jay Randolph with you. 14-3. The Bengals lead it. 1st and 10 for them from their own 20-yard line. Anderson with all kinds of time decides to run and gets out to the 27-yard line. Anderson threw 56 passes against the Chargers on Monday night. Only one of them intercepted. He also threw a couple of touchdowns in that game. It gave him the season +2 in touchdown passes 9 and interception was 7. He's thrown a touchdown pass here today. 12 seasons in the NFL. And some record.
Comeback Player of the Year last year, along with Player of the Year and a lot of other awards, and justly deserved.
Rodney Tate is in the game, and that is Tate, the rookie from Texas. And did he lose the ball in under there? Looked like they were in a battle for it. Tate, a 4th-round draft choice.
Take a look at the offensive line setting up for this draw play. It's a big hole to the left. Dave Lapham misses his man. He should have went for the linebacker. He did fumble the ball. The ball did come out.
Keith Simpson was right there, along with number 79, Jacob Green, and 72, Joe Nash. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching KING TV, Channel 5, Seattle.
3rd and less than a yard. The give going to Johnson. And it's going to depend where they put it down. It's close. Kenny Easley came up to make the play. I'll tell you, this Seattle bunch on defense has really played tough. Official timeout as referee Bob Frederick and his crew want to look at it, and one of the Seahawks is shaken up.
They've played well defensively all day. There one lapse they had on the blitz when Verser got the touchdown. But we said going into this game that Zorn would have to have a good day. He's 9 of 18 with 82 yards. He's had a couple passes intercepted. Seattle needs to do more offensively to get in this ball game. The defense has turned the ball over for them. They need to do more offensively.
For 1983.
Simpson there on the bench, shaken up, has come off. Played at Memphis State, a real hitter. He's okay, apparently. The Bengals did not get the first down on that last play, and McAnally has come on to do the punting. So again, Seattle very tough. They send 3 men back. Johns is the deep man to receive this kick from Pat McAnally. McAnally has it away. Paul Johns at the 27, over the 30, 35, breaks through at the 40, outside of the 45, midfield, and down to the 45-yard line of the Bengals. A fine return by Paul Johns, who ranks 2nd in the AFC in punt returns. M.L. Harris made the stop.
Good return by the free agent rookie. Comes right up the field. So many of your punt returns are broken by getting through the first line, the first wave of defense. Then he gets blindsided from the side and fortunately holds on to the football.
43-yard punt, a 28-yard return. David Hughes cuts the corner. He's bumped out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Mike Fuller making the play for the Bengals over there with Ross Browner, number 79. I'll tell you, get the feeling here, Bob, that if the Seahawks could get something going and score here, we have 5:51 left in the 3rd quarter, that this one might very well go to the wire. The Seahawks defense has rallied the club. You can feel a little momentum churning down there for Mike McCormick's punt.
The defense has kept them in the ball game and has created situations. The offense is stopping itself with penalties and inconsistencies.
That's Largent in motion. The pitch coming back. This is Theotis Brown. Penalty marker goes down. Theotis gets inside the 40-yard line. Stop made by Ross Browner and Mike Fuller. We'll see what the penalty is on the play. Brown coughed the ball up a couple of times last week, clipping against Seattle. And again, another very tough penalty against the Seahawks.
I saw Mike Tice, number 86, holding his hands up as if he didn't do anything, and that's usually a dead giveaway that they're throwing the flag on him. We'll have to wait and see.
David Hughes returns to the backfield with a play. Let's listen to Bob Frederick.
Illegal block on the offense, number 86, 2nd down.
Mike Tice, the tight end from Maryland. Call went against him, so it'll be 2nd down and 16. The ball at the 49-yard line of the Seahawks. Roger Carr goes to the left side. Largent is right. And number 88, Pete Metzelaars, the tight end, jumps off. Metzelaars, the rookie from Wabash. And again, Seattle has a problem.
You know, you hate to belabor a point, Jay, but it's part of the storyline of this ball game.
Number 88 on the offense.
Seattle has so many young players, especially on the offense. The tight end, both tight ends. One's a rookie, Pete Metzelaars. Mike Tice is a second-year man. Ron Essing is in his third year. The people that are making the mistakes are the young players. They need to be more disciplined. You can't move down the field if a yellow flag's on the field.
2nd and 21. Zorn, a quick one, and it's complete. It was Paul Johns who made the catch. Johns doing a nice job, very close to the first down. It's going to be about a yard short. Ray Griffin made the tackle at the 35.
This is an excellent throw by Jim Zorn. He takes 3 steps back, throws it between the linebackers, hits him right on stride. It's a big play. They need some offensive people to make some big plays and get them going.
Zorn had that same play going on the other side to Carr in the latter stages of the game last week. Looked like it might have been a touchdown, but Carr dropped it, and they give them a first down here. So Seattle comes bouncing back, trying to claw their way into it. It's 14-3, the Bengals, with 5:20 left to go, third quarter. David Hughes in the backfield. 3 wide receivers in the game. Byron Walker is on the wing right. The throw is out to Walker. He makes the catch at the 33. Bo Harris, 53, the linebacker right there. There wasn't a great deal Walker could do. A lot of pressure that time on Zorn. He threw low, and Walker was just happy to come up with a ball.
They actually had 4 wide receivers in the game. So going without a huddle, he tried to get the same slant pattern. The linebackers were deep, so he dumped it off to the short man.
2nd down and 8 at the 33. Zorn throws, and a fine catch is made by Paul Johns. Johns, another excellent reception. Ray Griffin on the coverage. They're working on Griffin, the cornerback.
And what they're doing, they're in a hurry-up offense. Mike McCormick was waving, get up the line of scrimmage, call the play from there, and not allow Henry Bola, the defensive coordinator, to get his calls in. Make him do it from the field.
1st and 10 at the 23. Zorn underthrows his intended receiver. Paul Johns, Bo Harris, and Ray Griffin out there with the coverage. That stops the clock with 3:58 remaining in the third quarter. Seattle coming back from a couple of tough penalties, gutting it up there, facing now 2nd and 10 at the 23.
I like the change up, the change of pace. If you're not doing well offensively, change something up, go up the line of scrimmage, run a few plays. It was working for him. Zorn just threw that one a little bit short, and they lost the momentum for a second. Big play is see if they can get it back.
Largent and Carr are set right. The handoff to Hughes. Hughes trying to get outside, and a fine play is made by Reggie Williams, the linebacker. Williams, the exciting performer from Dartmouth, number 57, put the clamps on it.
An excellent play by Williams. It was supposed to go inside. The man influenced him. He's blocking Williams outside. The receiver, the runner bounces outside, and Reggie makes a good play. That play was supposed to go inside of Reggie Williams.
The Bengals go to the prevent defense, 3rd and 10 at the 23. Roger Carr is set to the left, Largent right. Walker is in a slot right. At the 23, big play for the Seattle Seahawks. And it is complete to Roger Carr at the 10. Carr came back, took that ball right off his shoe tops in front of Robert Jackson.
You see all the linebackers up there. They're covering their man to man. Zorn reads the coverage well, throws it a little bit short. Roger Carr makes a big play.
A ball spotted just inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal to go for Seattle.
Be alert for aggressive here, maybe some blitzes. Hank Bull is going to make you earn it.
David Hughes is the single setback. And number 61, Jerry Boyarsky, playing the nose tackle for Wilson Whitley. He appeared to move. Was he pulled off? There's the move. Half the distance to the goal. Boyarsky jumping off. Whitley, the big nose tackle, not in there, and Boyarsky getting the call right now. The ball now just inside the 5-yard line. There is Horace Gregg. His glove backed up. And it's 1st and 5 for Seattle at the 5. But he got the ball off to Hughes, and Hughes got to the 2. What a splendid job Zorn did in getting that ball to his single setback. It looked like he might go down for a loss.
I think he gets stepped on by his center. No, he just slips on his own. Field is a little wet. This would have been a critical mistake in a big area of the field. They have an opportunity to score their first touchdown, get back in this ball game. Could have been a big mistake.
They were shut out last week. Goal line defense for Cincinnati. 2nd and goal to go. Sherman Smith there with Hughes. Out it comes. It's a touchdown to Steve Largent. Throwing back across the green. Zorn to Largent.
Largent actually comes behind the line of scrimmage to catch this ball. This is a play that several teams in the NFL are using. You see Largent coming across your screen behind the line, creates problems for the defensive back that has to come across and cover him. He has to avoid all the penetration, all the linebackers. That's something that different teams around the league have used. You see it on film, you put it in your offense. Why not if it works?
Norm Johnson kicks the point after. 2:19 left to play in the 3rd quarter. We show you an isolated view here as Largent got it in.
Here's another look at the touchdown. In motion behind the line of scrimmage. Kenny Riley sees what's happening and goes behind the defense. Cannot get there in time. Tries to make the tackle. That's another one of the tricks that the Seattle Seahawks use on offense.
49 career touchdowns now for Largent. There's the drive, 45 yards, 9 plays. Norm Johnson kicking off as we look at the receiver's point of view. It comes down to Verser at the 5. Excellent pursuit by the special team. Seattle's defenses really doing a job. Leading the way. For the Seahawks. Robinson, the linebacker, making the play.
It's a big series for the offense of the Bengals. The momentum has definitely shifted over to the Seahawks. They need to do something, keep the ball, move it down the field, and hopefully get some points.
Single setback, Pete Robinson, or Pete Johnson, I should say, behind Kenny Anderson. They got 2 tight ends in the game. Rolling the other way, and down goes Anderson. Anderson had M.L. Harris open up at the 17-yard line. Ken Easley on the play.
UB, the quarterback, fakes one way, rolls out the other. Easley comes up to force it. His man opened downfield, but he couldn't see him.
Loss of 3. 2nd and 13 at the 6. Alexander back in there along with Pete Johnson now behind Ken Anderson. Anderson from his own end zone throwing out to Johnson. Johnson gets to the the 17-yard line. Play made by Michael Jackson, the linebacker, number 55. Well, at the top of the show, we showed you these standings. Cincinnati 5-2. A victory would get them into the playoffs, and it would give them a giant step towards some home field advantage. Seattle 3-4 must win, and they have battled back here. It is 14-10 the Bengals. 3rd down and 6. 3 wide receivers in there now. Anderson throwing complete at the 20 to Collinsworth. Harry Justin, the extra defensive back on the coverage, made the play, but that time, as has happened so often, Anderson and Collinsworth hook up for a very important play.
Anderson's the type of quarterback, too, Jay, that sees the whole field. And by that, I mean, you can take one receiver away from him or 2 receivers, but he'll see that and go to the one that's single coverage. And that time he went to Collinsworth, who had man-to-man.
40 seconds left in the 3rd period. The only score of this quarter, the Seahawks. 5-yard pass, Zorn to Largent. Anderson throws complete. That is Mercer. Mercer to the 30-yard line. Keith Butler, the linebacker, 53, made the play. Mercer is exciting to watch. Great talent.
This is the same route that he ran on the touchdown a little earlier. He didn't do much, just went down and stood there. He is the outlet. Same pattern, different coverage. Before it was a blitz, now it's a zone. Picks up 7 yards, whereas before it was a big touchdown.
4 wide receivers in the game for the Bengals. 2 seconds, 1 second. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, the Bengals 14, the Seahawks 10. We'll be right back. Jay Randolph, you see them working on the leg there of Anthony Munoz, played at USC, the all-pro #1 draft choice. He is out of the game. Michael Bravick is in there at the tackle spot for Munoz. 2nd down and 3 from the 30-yard line. Penalty marker down. Out it comes to Johnson. Johnson to the 32-yard line. It looked like the Seahawks were offside. One of the Seahawks is shaken up at the 29-yard line. And a timeout called as Bruce Scott, Jim Witzel, Seahawks, Jim Weitzel, the Seahawks training crew coming out. And Mike McCormick, coach, comes out. I don't see that very often. McCormick comes onto the field when every one of his players is shaken up.
I think Keith Simpson is the man who's down, and he just got kicked in the head when he went low to tackle Johnson. Here's a look at the play again. Man-to-man coverage, you'll see swing pass right out there. Throws his body block and his head right into the knees. Pete Johnson.
Keith Simpson is the injured player. Seeing Mike McCormick out there, what a pleasant man, and a man who has really brought a lot of enthusiasm to this Seattle club over the last month or so. And you know, personalities and chemistry have so much to do with winning and getting things going. We'll talk a little bit about that, Bob, when we come back right after these messages. Today's game is brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge. By Atari, the leader in home video games, for fun your whole family can share. And by Anheuser-Busch St. Louis, the Brewers of Michelob. Some things speak for themselves. Here at Riverfront Stadium, the injured player is Keith Simpson for the Seahawks. And they're still attending to him.
Take another look at this and see exactly what happens. He goes low into Pete Johnson. I think Johnson's knee just hits him right in the neck and the head area.
Well, they're still attending to him here. If you're just joining us, It was a scoreless first quarter. The Bengals got 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. Johnson a 1-yard plunge at 13:09. Anderson a 55-yarder to Mercer at 2:13. And it was a field goal of 43 yards for Seattle's Norm Johnson that got them on the board. It was 14-3 at half. The Seahawks getting a 5-yarder from Zorn DeLargent here in the third, 14-10. You saw those statistics on the first 3 periods of play. Next week, the Bengals play Houston down in the Astrodome, and the Seahawks will play the Denver Broncos in the Kingdome. That's the final weekend of the strike-shortened season, and then the first 8 teams will qualify for play in the Super Bowl tournament. And of course, there are a number of very interesting tie-breaking factors, things that will come into play to see who makes the playoffs. The Bengals with a win today can assure themselves of the playoffs. Seattle must win today to still have a shot. Keith Simpson being helped off.
I think the key in that playoff system is if the LA Raiders lose a ball game and the rest of the contenders win, we could have 5 teams tied at 7-2. And then that playoff system and the backup system of who goes where and conference wins and will really come into effect.
Cleveland over Houston. They have most of the fourth quarter left to play. They've just gotten into the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh 23-14 in the fourth quarter. Kavanaugh has taken over for Grogan. And Tampa Bay and Detroit are having a dandy, 21-20. Here it is 14-10, the Bengals. First and 10 from the 35-yard line. That's Charles Alexander. Alexander moving it out to the 38-yard line. Jacob Green, number 79, made the tackle. 14 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in regulation time. Seattle with a record of 3-4. The Bengals with a record of 5-2.
Kerry Justin now is in for Keith Simpson at the left corner. See if the Bengals test him.
Justin, a free agent from Oregon State. Anderson. Out it goes, and Johnson makes a fine catch and takes off. Johnson all the way to the 36-yard line. Johnson, brought down by Dave Brown. He made that catch right in front of a defender out there and went right by him, a pickup of 25 yards.
That's the real value of Pete Johnson. Not only does he run well, he's a tough, short yardage runner, big, strong blocker. But when Anderson can't find anybody downfield, he's shifty enough to elude a tackler, a man as good as Michael Jackson, and run with the ball in open field. It's a big asset in the backfield of the Bengals.
4 wide receivers out there for the Bengals. First down at the 35. Anderson steps up. Penalty marker goes down. Anderson throws. Collinsworth to the 5-yard line. But they might bring it back. Collinsworth got it to the 5, and there are 2 penalty markers down. Back upfield, and we could get a holding call here against Cincinnati.
I think that's a good guess. It's interesting to note, though, Jay, that as soon as the Seahawks got close, 14-10, the Bengals immediately went to their strength. That's their passing game. 4 wide receivers.
Holding, number 77, offensive holding, 68, first down.
2 guys holding.
Yeah, he mentioned Obravik and also Wilson.
Chris Collinsworth, he is not the primary receiver, just keeps going. Runs the same way as the quarterback. The quarterback is scrambling to the right. He runs in the same direction, makes a big play.
Again, 4 wide receivers there. Now first and 20 back at the 46. That is Isaac Curtis at the 35. He was hit immediately by Keith Butler. Well, they didn't try to get it all back in one chunk, Bob, but he got a good bit of it right there.
Smart play by Anderson. First and 20. He's got 3 downs to pick up 20 yards. He goes after it immediately with the pass.
Mercer comes out and Ross comes back in. Collinsworth going to the left side. Kreider to the right. Pete Johnson, the single setback. 2nd and 9. Pass interference. McCormick doesn't like it. Jackie Simpson doesn't like it. That's the defensive assistant. Simpson is really hot.
I don't think I like it either. I didn't see anything.
The discussion now with referee Bob Frederick and the men on the play. The flags were thrown.
He may pick up that flag. Just an out pattern by the wide receiver. Can't really see from that angle.
Well, it's going to be pass interference called against John Harris. Anthony Munoz, bothered by an ankle injury, is back into the game. There is Harris. And it is a first down at the 15-yard line for the Bengals. 12 and a half to play. Alexander and Johnson both in the game now. Out to Johnson. Johnson to the 10. Penalty marker down. Johnson got inside the 10-yard line. Another flag is on the green turf here. Dave Brown, Kenny Easley, 22 and 45, made the tackle. Boy, I'll tell you, they're clawing at one another down there right now.
Grabbing, holding, whatever.
Back to the 25. Let's listen in.
Offensive holding, number 78.
Call went against Munoz, who just came back into the game. Bothered, of course, as we said, by the ankle. We saw that being taped up.
You know, Jay, it's hard for me to understand how the Seahawks can play the Bengals when they have 3 and 4 wide receivers in the game without going to 5 or 6 defensive backs. They're having linebackers cover wide receivers, and that's a mismatch.
First and 20. Anderson throwing and incomplete. David Verser high into the air at the 7-yard line. Couldn't hold on. Ken Easley over there on the coverage. Verser got the big touchdown pass, his first touchdown of the year. Earlier on, Ross now comes back in at tight end, number 89. Verser comes out. Pittsburgh leading 30-14 now up at Three Rivers Stadium. Terry Bradshaw just thrown a 54-yard touchdown pass to Craig Hawthorne. Briscoe leading Kansas City. 2nd and 20 here. Ken Anderson with a lot of time, and it is complete. And that is Kreider at the 13-yard line. Kenny Easley there to make the tackle on Kreider. Kreider, who played at Lehigh.
3 wide receivers again to the quarterback's left. He looks to the right, comes back. All the receivers are being jammed at the line of scrimmage. Kreider keeps his poise, shakes free, not very much. Gets open just enough, slips on the turf. 3rd and 9.
3rd and 9 at the 14 with 11:40 to play in this game. The Bengals leading 14-10. Pass interference against Collinsworth.
We said before, there's a lot of jamming by the Seattle Seahawks at the line of scrimmage. He must have been pushing off to get free. A lot of times the wide receiver will become frustrated. Here we see Collinsworth. See if he pushes off. He's being jammed. He's being jammed. If that's offensive pass interference, you got something on me.
That was the call, and it nullified the touchdown. 3rd and 19 now at the 24. Again, the 4 wide receivers. Anderson on the run, throws back into the middle. That's Collinsworth getting to the 16-yard line. And it's going to be field goal time for the Bengals.
That's the thing that's so dangerous about Cincinnati and Kenny Anderson, is that he can run, and when he scrambles around, he is more dangerous than ever. Here we see Collinsworth coming around looking for an open spot, comes back underneath the linebacker, says, I'm open, get me the ball. Not enough for the first down. Have to go for the field goal.
The ball will be spotted at the 24-yard line. 34-yard attempt by Jim Breach. He's 13 of 16 this year. Mike Fuller will do the holding. The kick is good. Oh, and Breach is saying to himself, thank goodness, that was close.
Barely good.
10.5 to play here. Bengals 17, Seahawks 10. Jim Breach on this field goal. I think he thought he'd missed it, Bob. Look at him here. He's trying to, look like he's trying to get it to break.
He says, thank goodness it went through.
All right, it's a 7-point lead for the Bengals. Breach, second leading kicker in the league. 10 straight field goals now he has made. And Johns and Eric Lane are back to receive. Johns at the 7, at the 15, at the 20, the 25, out to the 30. Football! Cincinnati gets it at the 32.
It's a good, tough hit. Fuller is in the right position at the right time. You just can't give the ball up. Last week, Seattle gave it over 6 times. Today, they've given it over 3 times. They've been penalized 11 times for 107 yards. You cannot win football games by not executing and turning the football over.
1st and 10 for Cincinnati. The Seattle defense has been on the field a long time here. Ball batted down by number 77, Jeff Bryant. Pass appeared to be intended for Pete Johnson. Clock is stopped with 10 minutes, 15 seconds remaining to be played.
This is the second best pass defense that you can find. The first, of course, is putting him on his back. He can't throw from being on his back and being sacked.
Second down and 10. Out it comes to Johnson. He's at the 30, spins away, gets down to the 27-yard line. Big Pete Johnson doing the job under pressure. The Bengals leading 17-10. Tackle was made by Jeff Bryant, number 77. Clock running with 9 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. There's the man who coughed up the ball, the talented returner, Pete Johns. Anderson now is 21 out of 28, 252 yards. Third and 5. The tight end made a fine catch, Dan Ross.
like he's got man-to-man coverage. The ball has to be thrown good because he's close. Good play by Dan Ross, getting open. Opportunity to look at the protection all kinds of time. That's the kind of protection you like. Nobody in your face, plenty of time to throw.
First down at the 14-yard line. Johnson got a couple. Michael Jackson, number 55, led the way for Seattle. These two clubs have really played full tilt. Archie Griffin coming in now, Johnson coming out. 45 in, 46 out. Clock running with 8 minutes and 45 seconds remaining.
Watch for Archie maybe catching a pass coming out of the backfield.
Ball is batted and almost intercepted. Well, he was trying to go, as you suggested, Bob Greasy, to Archie Griffin. The ball was batted around. Michael Jackson is frustrated there as he almost came up with it. He's upset. You can't blame him. Now a penalty marker is thrown.
Michael Jackson, a very emotional player, has his highs and his lows.
Let's listen to Bob Frederick on this penalty.
Defensive holding, number 58. First down.
The call going against Bruce Scholes, but look again at the isolation here on Griffin.
There you see Michael Jackson cutting right in front of him. He wanted to go to him. He tipped the ball in the air. I can't believe the opportunities to make the plays that the Seahawks have had and have not have made them.
First down, goal to go. 8-yard line. Johnson down to the 3. May have gotten to the 2. Johnson banging in front of Lapham and Bush. Stop made down there by Mike White, number 70. The Seahawks playing without Hardy and Tuiasosopo. It's going to be second down, goal to go, just outside of the 2-yard line. 8 minutes to play. Bengals leading 17-10. Johnson. Touchdown. Here's the big guy, Bob.
Just give him a little bit of a seam. He runs over a defensive tackle, pushes a couple of linebackers into the end zone.
The mark of a very good football team, a team that was in the Super Bowl a year ago. They took advantage of a break in a very close game and now have a 23-10 lead. Breach will try to make it 24-10.
Good point.
Breach boots it through. 7 minutes, 46 seconds remaining here at Riverfront in Cincinnati. The Bengals, 46 to play. The Bengals, 33 yards in 5 plays after the turnover. Breach will kick off. Johns and Lane set to receive. A low squib kick, and it is Johns at the 15, the 20, the 25, out to the 27-yard line. Paul Johns on the return, the tackle. Robert Jackson, number 37, on the specialty unit. The Bengals up 24-10. The Seahawks with the football. Take a look at some scores very quickly for you. Houston now has taken the lead over Cleveland. They have about 8 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. St. Louis. I'll show you that score in a moment. Pittsburgh having a big day. And Bob Greasy, after we run this play, I want to talk a moment about the Steelers. Here's a pass down the sideline, complete. Roger Carr is all the way to the 32-yard is a first down and a big play for Seattle as they try to get back in it. 40-yard pass play.
You see Ken Riley letting him go. That's a double zone. Riley's got the short area. He's looking for help from the weak safety, Fuller. It was a good play by Jim Zorn, the quarterback. He looked off Fuller, the weak safety, looked him off, threw the ball down the sidelines, and that's why Fuller wasn't over where his responsibility was.
Largent goes wide to the right. Paul Johns now set left. 1st and 10 at the 33. Zorn going long downfield and incomplete. He was going for Largent, had to throw outside. Ray Griffin had the coverage. Bob, back to what we were talking about a moment ago. Pittsburgh having a very big day, 37-14. Terry Bradshaw has thrown for more than 250 yards and a couple of touchdown passes. Bradshaw's had a couple of very tough weeks. You talked to him yesterday, and he seemed to feel that they'd righted themselves at Pittsburgh.
Well, he feels like he had a good week's practice. He's been through this a couple of times before, and we just talked about the things that I've been through before. I've had some bad weeks. He was very confident going in the game. He says, I'm either going to perform in the first quarter or I'm going to be on the bench. I had confidence in him. I knew he'd come back and play well today. He's a good quarterback.
2nd and 10 at the 33. They swing it out, and up the sideline goes David Hughes. Hughes is a good receiver. They like to use him. Bo Harris, 53, made the play. Some other scores. Detroit leading Tampa Bay 21-20. They're in the 4th quarter. Very big game there. And Green Bay is really putting it on Atlanta. In the 4th quarter, down in Atlanta. The Pack has come back today in fine fashion. San Francisco leading by 3 at Kansas City against the Chiefs. And St. Louis, we mentioned. St. Louis with a win today has an excellent shot for the playoffs. Jim Hannafin's crew has done quite a job. Almost intercepted. The pass intended for Tice, the tight end, slipped away, and Bobby Kemp almost came up with it.
Ball should have been intercepted. Kemp is feeling upset with himself. A lot of times people say, how can you not miss a ball when it's tipped up in the air like that? But Kemp is more concerned about covering the man than he is catching the ball, and it surprises him. This is the last thing you want to do is drop it when he could have ended the ball game for the Seattle Seahawks.
Ball will be spotted at the 33-yard line. 43-yarder for Norm Johnson. A fake, and they run it through, and it's a first down. Well, you often will see that from Seattle. And you saw Zorn run the football out of a field goal formation.
Well, I don't think it surprised too many people in the stadium. You've got 6 minutes left. They're 2 touchdowns behind. It's 4th and 3, and they're lining up for a field goal. They've been very successful, has Seattle in the past, in running gimmick plays like that. They may have felt like that was the best way to get up to 3 yards.
I'm frankly surprised Cincinnati didn't smell it out better.
I am too.
1st and 10 at the 17. The Seahawks still alive, trying to come back again. Zorn throwing and incomplete. Oh, Paul Johns had it slip just off his fingertips. Robert Jackson on the coverage for the Bengals.
That man has got to be getting some gray hairs from everything that's going on in this game. When things are going bad for you, nothing seems to click. If he would have just had a little bit more height on that ball, he had to get rid of it. Again, it was a blitz, and he didn't have everybody blocked. If he'd had a little bit more air under it, as we say, could have had a little bit more time to catch it. 2nd and 10.
Roger Carr and Largent are both set to the right side. Johns is over on the left, and nothing there. Giving the ball up the middle to Dornick. Rather interesting call, Bob. Mike St. Clair smelled it out, number 72, to make the play.
It's one of those plays, Jay, that if it works, it's a good call, and if it doesn't, you wonder why you ran it. They were spread out in a passing formation. The defense was waiting for a pass, and you try to sneak him through, but that time it didn't work.
They had Edwards, St. Clair, Cameron, Rizzano, and Boyarsky all up there. Here we go now, 3rd and 13. for Largent. It was thrown just behind him. Largent made an excellent move and almost held on. Griffin and Kemp on the coverage, an isolated view.
There you have double coverage. Griffin on the outside, Kemp on the inside. He hooks between both receivers. The ball is thrown behind him. If the ball would have been thrown inside where he was turning, it would have been a completion and a first down.
Now it is 4th and 13. 4:39 to play. The Seahawks will go for it. This is their season right here if they're going to stay alive.
Exactly right.
Was by Kemp and Griffin. There is Zorn. This is it for them. Let's see this measurement. We'll show you this play again. Right now the measurement is all important. They didn't make it. No, they're going to do it. No, they did not make it. Frederick trying to help us so you can see. They're stretched out. They didn't make it. Mike McCormick applauding the play. Show it to you again. Here it is.
4th down, 13 yards to go. You've got to go down at least 15 yards and then come back if you have to. You got to give yourself a little leeway. Largent did, but the delay in the backfield is what caused Largent to come coming back to him for the reception. It's a tough call, but it looks like the end of it for Seattle.
Seahawks are in trouble. If you had a club ever come back and get a couple with this much time left?
Well, we've got 4 minutes left, Jay, and a lot of things can happen. You're going against a veteran offensive team. The Seattle defense is going to have to come up with some fumbles or interceptions, but it's been done before. We've done it.
All right, right now the Bengals have the football. They'll try to turn some time up off the clock. That is Pete Johnson breaking out. Oh, he almost broke it big. But he has a first down at the 19-yard line. Kenny Easley on the tackle. The Bengals lead it 24-10. And a look again at the big guy. Do we have a penalty marker down?
There's a face mask right there as he's getting through the line. I think this is what you're going to see the next few plays is the big fullback coming right up the middle at you.
Well, apparently we did not get a call for the face mask. I thought there was a marker down, but apparently not. We remind you this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Bengals and the NFL is prohibited. Bob, if the Bengals win it, they play at Houston. They've got an excellent chance for the home field advantage, certainly for the first weekend and maybe for more.
If they win the next 2 games, they're 7-2. They will have their first game at home at least.
1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Alexander, no gain on the play. Well, he might have got a yard. Here's the final. The Steelers 37-14 over New England. Grogan was injured in that game. Kavanaugh took over, tried to rally them, but the Steelers win it, and they're in excellent shape for the playoffs. It's going to be 2nd down and 9 from the 21.
I believe the Steelers are at home next week also.
number 70, made the tackle. We have 2 minutes and 42 seconds remaining to be played. The Seahawks now with 2 timeouts left. The Bengals with 3. Pete Johnson today, 2 touchdowns. That gives Johnson a total of 6 on the season. He has rushed the ball for 61 yards on 14 carries, and he's caught 5 very big passes for 46 yards.
He's a big part of this team. They send in 4 wide receivers. The most dangerous may be him coming out of the backfield. When the other ones are covered downfield, they'll dump it off to Pete Johnson.
The Fiesta Bowl pits the Sooners of Oklahoma and the talented group from Arizona State playing right there in their own backyard in Tempe. All comes your way at 1:30 Eastern Time to kick off New Year's Day Bowl action on NBC. And of course, that action will be followed by the Rose Bowl, Michigan against UCLA. And then in the evening, sit back and enjoy the Cornhuskers and the Fighting Tigers of LSU amidst all of the pageantry of the Orange Bowl game. Double tight end alignment. Harris and Ross are both in there. 3rd down and 2 at the 28. Johnson, a big first down. He's got it over the 30-yard line. Joe Nash made the play. We'll pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
You're watching KING TV, Channel 5, Seattle.
1st and 10 for the Bengals. They're operating from their own 31-yard line. 2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining to be played. Crowd of over 50,000 here at Riverfront today. And they've gotten the Christmas gift a day late.
They've clinched a playoff spot.
All right, the 2-minute warning. Now here comes another one of those fantastic finishes. 24-10, the Bengals. The Bengals and the Seahawks have put on an excellent show here today. The Bengals up by 14, facing 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Pitch back to Alexander, and he loses a couple. Coming up to make the play for the Seahawks, Mark Bell, number 82, who's in the lineup. And timeout for Seattle. That leaves them 1 timeout remaining. Well, Mike McCormick has got to be proud of the effort he's been able to get from this club over the last month, Bob. They have played with a tremendous amount of enthusiasm. As you mentioned last week and again this week, the turnovers, the penalties have hurt a very talented but a very young team.
They're a very good defensive ball club. Their strength in the past has been in their offense. They're having some problems. Mike McCormick came in, took over for Jack Patera. A lot of the players said that Patera's rules and regulations were too much, too tough, too strict. Didn't let them perform, didn't let them play the way they wanted to play. Mike has come in and done a good job, changed it a little bit. The players are feeling a little bit more free to do the things they want to do.
Tonight on NBC, Voyagers, Chips, and Battle Beyond the Stars. All tonight on NBC. We invite you to join us for an evening of exciting entertainment. 2nd down and 13 from the 28-yard line. Johnson is the single setback. He gets it and is stopped. No gain. It'll be 3rd down and 13 coming up. Keith Butler came across to make the play.
You know, Mike McCormick, who we're talking about a little bit, says that he's just the interim coach, that he's not interested in coaching. He wants to go back to the front office next year. Whoever takes over and is the coach of this ball club is going to have a good nucleus for a good football team next year.
Well, don't rule out the fact that he might not be coaching, because if you talk to a number of the men on this team, I think if you were to take a vote of the Seahawk players, that they would want McCormick to come back. And whether Mike would admit it or not, he loves coaching. He had a very tough experience at Baltimore and not a much better experience at Philadelphia. But he likes the atmosphere in Seattle. He likes the organization in Seattle. And he obviously has liked what has happened, as I mentioned again, with the chemistry in this team over the past 5 or 6 weeks.
You talk about Jack Matera and Mike McCormick. You really have two coaches with really varying philosophies. Matera very strict. McCormick more of a loose organization. We'll let the players do some things. You can get it done both ways.
Yes, indeed. 3rd and 13. The handoff again is to Johnson. And he gets to the 30-yard line, holding on. The Seahawks are going to get the football, but they are without any timeouts. Nash made the tackle. Seahawks were hampered today with the injury to Hardy and the injury to Tuiasa Sopo, who aggravated that knee injury of his early on. But you really can't fault the defense for the way they played the past few weeks.
I think the problem is they've missed some opportunities, dropped an interception that would have helped them. They've had some penalties that have really hurt them offensively, and the turnovers last week and again this week. You have to be consistent to move the ball offensively, and they have not done that.
Pat McAnally will do the punting. Paul Johns is downfield. Big rush. McAnally got it away. Johns lets it hit, and he lets it roll. He didn't have much of a chance to come up and get that kick, and it will be Seattle's football, and they'll take it from their own 22-yard line. A 48-yard punt. Here are the standings the way they'll look tomorrow as far as Cincinnati goes. They are 6-2. And Seattle will mark down there at 3-5 and be out of the picture.
New England drops to 4-4. They play Buffalo next week. That'll be a must game for them. I think 5-4 will get them in the playoffs.
1st and 10 from the 23-yard line for Seattle. Zorn throwing, and it is complete up the sideline. David Hughes steps out of bounds with 31 seconds remaining. Ray Griffin on the coverage. Thanks to Bill Schwarberg and Mike Leonard, John Murdaugh, and all our crew here. Hope you've enjoyed the sights and sounds of the NFL this afternoon from Riverfront. Coordinating producer of NFL football for NBC, Ted Nathanson, has been here providing the pictures for us this afternoon. Gentlemen, I've had the pleasure of working with now for 16 years. One of the very best. Here is Zorn on the run, and got out of bounds with 23 seconds left. John Simmons running him out of bounds. The coordinating producer of our NBC football is Ted Nathanson. The telecast of today's game was ably produced by Terry Ewert, directed by Ted Nathanson, the associate director, John Libretto. Thanks to our entire crew from WLWT here in Cincinnati, and to everyone here in the booth for their help and support this afternoon. 23 seconds remaining. Bengals lead at 24-10. Complete to Largent, down to the 45-yard line of Cincinnati. Largent hit down there by Mike Fuller, a 22-yard pickup. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. First down at the 45. Zorn throws it out of bounds, and it is over.